I don't think I played the Rune Lord very well. There are lots, and I do not have much experience with the rune level of play. And they have his spirit in particular has lots of abilities that probably should have come into the combat. And maybe I can adjust for that this time.
Oh, by the way, and he set us up. In case he didn't tell you last week.
What is this?
That sounds like a grudge.
No, he's trying to establish some kind of love affair.
Wait, who is this? Wait,
I don't know.
Who, me? I don't think so.
No,
Okay.
you would never, would you?
What did I do?
I just let players do what they want.
Yeah.
They're all your characters
Where
are adults.
did that amulet come from? All of a sudden.
All right.
Something that you found in the ruins.
I'm not sure that was exactly the way it was, but I'm really interested.
You found it and you gave it to Zort to use.
But that was for
so if you took it back,
for purely practical reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Okay. No, that's what I'm saying. That's why it made some sense to. It made sense to take it back. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
She basically killed off her boss in the temple.
Yeah, that's true too.
Small for poor.
Yeah, I committed blasphemy against my cult.
Priestesside.
Priestesside.
Just wondering what that will have the consequences.
Priestesside.
I did a lot of bad things.
I mean, if no one knows, it's not a sin if no one knows.
All right, I'm going to give you guys some things that you should know. In fact, why don't I?
Where are we right now?
You are right where you were.
Oh shit!
Yes. No,
the one time where
you were hoping, well, maybe you'll dump us right in the middle of a big, thick forest, and that would be.
Well, that would have been really, really nice.
I think so.
But
you
wasn't hoping that
you
much.
caused more problems than you solved last time. So,
what, me?
Yeah.
No. No. Me? No.
Well,
I didn't try to kill somebody half that.
Okay, that's what you say. So this is the fortress town that you are in.
Okay, detect spirit. 1 power. Anything else?
You should think of it as being on a big cliff that's sticking out over the ocean.
That right?
Yeah.
All right.
And then here are the main ways to get in through this community or buildings.
And this would be facing the ocean.
I think so, yeah. And then you can also come up this way through gates here. So you can tell it has been built through stages through history.
It also looks very well fortified with this narrow against the invaders. It's like you can just pelt them with arrows and everything as they try and breach further and further in.
Yeah. And then you also have this temple on the outside of the walls, which is the Temple of the Buried Dead, which is where we have been. We had right where this 10 is. We have been very busy right there.
Murdering.
Yes,
I mean,
and then, this area is the less organized part of things, and somewhere in here is the small organization of the Merciful Dawn, which is where you were. You were busy checking in with the priest and situations.
make sure that I'm doing my job all right.
That's right.
They don't have any opinions about how I...
To recover slightly from where we were, you had encountered a situation and we resolved the immediate situation, but not your overall problem, your overall situation with many different factors. And the immediate concern of your situation seems to be with the Hawk Seer Rune Lord, who has been defeated, and they have of course saved him from dying with their magic. His assistants ran to get him and healed him, but he's not in very good shape, of course. And they are trying to, they are saying, go back in there and slay them, and he says, no, there's greater things here. because he has been struck by the infinity rune.
And we try to behead him.
And he says, there are greater things here than you know. And you should know that about that time, the body of your priest walks out of the doors of the temple, and you can see that the statue effects of his priesthood have fallen away from him, and that his clothing is disintegrating off of him, and he is rapidly changing into a completely different form that loses its humanity very quickly. The picture that I posted, which vaguely looked a little human, of the angel, but then when you looked again, there are actually no human pieces, is very much like this. And it also has ever-changing circular lighted loops going around and changing places. And it is very mystical looking. You get the impression of wings, but there are no literal wings. And it is getting much larger and is coming down these steps. And it is traveling directly toward the coin, which is still in the middle of the air.
I want my coin.
Well, this is occurring almost right next to you because I believe you were on the steps. And so this situation has occurred. Rohir, the Rune Lord of the Hawkseers, is giving orders to his companions, and I would like to know what everybody will do before I start telling you what it is saying.
I'm
not here, right?
Fortunately for you, you are not.
Except that the priest of the Merciful Dawn, at this point, I should explain where you are. You are in a place that is able for people who have simple lives to come and sleep in a big room with lots of simple beds and to get fed from very large pots of basic food. And this is a typical temple of the Merciful Dawn. It's a place to stay. And the people there come in two kinds. Some are very poor and don't have any other home. Some, on the other hand, are very organized and dressed in very specific kinds of clothes for different tasks, and clearly have assignments that they go to. And so the priest, like all the priests of the Merciful Dawn, is by direction of the cult, they cannot wear ornaments. They cannot wear. They cannot make themselves look attractive in some special way. They cannot celebrate things in a happy way. And they have almost a magical prohibition that means they have to be polite. So the priest is very politely telling everybody in the temple to please come here. There is a little bit of a problem. And she cannot direct the basic worshippers to do things. She can only find jobs for them and things like that. But the initiates, she can order around. And she instructs a small group of the initiates, all of whom are wearing a heavy chain that is either like a necklace or wrapped around one arm, or perhaps a belt or something. Each one has a heavy chain. And she tells them that they are to go to the temple of the buried secrets, the buried dead. And there, she is going to instruct them that this is a special permission for them to remove the chains. Once they are there, they protest, they refuse. And she has to lay down some priestess, or he has to lay down some priest power to get them to comply.
Oh.
The only thing you recognize in all of this is the Temple of the Buried Dead, which is where everybody went.
Go. I'm not an initiate, so I don't have to listen to.
Right. And you don't wear a chain.
You
You're
know
not an initiate.
Before they organize, I might just go there and make sure that everyone I know is out of the way, at least.
Well, they wouldn't be in the way of anything, of course. Why would they?
No, I mean, yes, make sure.
Nobody's attracting trouble in any way, right?
Of course.
No. Just make sure that,
Just
everything goes well.
enough.
Yeah. We're gonna do stuff.
So if we go back to our city map, you will find that, as I mentioned last time, the scale of the map in our use of it is much bigger than their scale. So this scale here does not count. Maybe it is 1/10 of the real scale. So a building in this picture is a section of buildings, not just one.
Yeah.
So, however, you have a fairly short distance to go to get to this gate, which will take you properly there. And as you proceed through here, you can see the light glow above the wall. Looking at the wall, you can see above it a light appearing that you recognize from our very first adventure.
Exactly.
I really have to go there.
Okay. So, let's make a Constitution roll times 5. No, that would be, let's say a Strength roll times 5 for you. Oh, that's very high for you.
Yeah, let's see here. It's D100. Yeah, Strength times 5. I think A3 works well.
What do you have? 83?
A3.
Oh, no, that's not a problem. In fact, that is a critical roll with an 85. So that means that you actually are going to... What is with these critical rolls with minor physical actions that you guys are getting all the time? It's that's the 1, 2, 3,
Right,
1 for each of you, right? In 2
Yeah.
episodes or 2, right? So we have these remarkable athletic scenes of physical excellence. So Zort very heroically runs and will arrive, I think, faster than the game master would have said he arrives. You have a little plot power from your critical there.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. So now the rune, the infinity rune, of course, is quite clear at the coin, and if anybody is feeling analytical, you can see that the creature or being that is now at the doors of the temple is sort of a magical version of that rune in some ways.
Do I
Except
know
it's
this
creature.
shape? This creature, do I know?
You know it now because you have opened your mind to this, and this is infinity, is the rune, and more importantly, that the contact with it through your mind that your priest had made has turned him into a being of this god.
Okay. So I guess it's not friendly.